no justice, it's just us. Bullet wounds into the armpits or hands up. Reaching for no weapons, no questions asked. Shoot first and blast over coffee and Krispy Kremes. You murdered Radio Raheem and Rag, so we in front of Sauce Pizzeria, roasting pig till they bags falls off in the ass.
Extraordinary MCs,
lyricists,
poets,
actors,
artists. Artists is the best way to sum it up. Like neither of us are pigeonholed or boxed into any particular category. I think that at the end of the day, we like to create beautiful and dope shit.
We like to create beautiful and dope shit.
We like to create beautiful and dope shit, and that's it. And it has various forms of manifestations.
I would agree.
So we just had an interesting conversation here a second ago about a line that you dropped, and it was so interesting that I think that you should let the people know what you just said, just so they know what you're coming with, the knowledge that you're coming with, the
For sure. Respect. So my brother and I just recorded a video, Lionhead, and the record, I think, speaks about spirituality and the convergence between the way that spirituality was viewed and managed back in the day, and how the youth might relate to it today, and the convergence in between. If that makes any sense. I think it makes most sense once you hear the record. But in the line, I said, I specifically talked about how the power of women, and it was important for me, like our entire album is talking about duality and the masculine and the feminine, and bringing those and converging those two worlds.
You get the perspectives of the man and the woman. You get both sides. You get all that together. So it's not one way to look at it.
Exactly. And so in my line, I wanted to specifically touch on like the notion of hysteria. Like there's this concept of hysteria in the world in terms of like women being unstable and looked at as if that feminine energy doesn't necessarily have a place when it comes to real world problems. And so I said, my womb is a pyramid, shatter paradigms of Puritans, cause niggas bleed, period. And it was just a play on how, in spite of the historical context of hysteria being unstable, a woman's womb being unstable, and they called it hysteria, I'm saying, actually, if you think about a woman's reproductive system, is shaped in a form of a pyramid, and a pyramid is one of the strongest foundations that there is, which is why there are still pyramids standing in Egypt despite them being created thousands of years ago. And so it was just bringing that piece back full center to stand firm. Is like the masculine and the feminine, they both serve a space in the conversation, and not one is not greater than the other. A man is not greater than a woman is not greater than a man. We are equal, we are yin and yang. We each offer a different balance, one not necessarily being greater than the other, but we offer something different depending on the situation and the context. And so that was the importance of it, and I think that it just honed in on the concept of the album that we're working on, just to highlight that fact. I know that was a long-winded.
It's long-winded, but it makes sense. It gets you an audience. You know what I'm saying? It gets people to be able to feed into that, to want to know more. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of music. Nas was a great teacher. He taught us a lot. You listen to Stillmatic, you listen to any of Nas's albums, he's a teacher.
Indeed.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, you know what I'm saying, let me go to Merce and ADXN. Let's go to 80.
Man of many names.
Man of many names.
Man of many names.
He'll always be worse than me.
Right.
He'll
So let me
always
get
be
your
worse than me.
let me get your outtake on that end. You know what I'm saying? Something that you put into that that feeds into what she said.
Well, thing that comes to mind is the title for me was Lionhead. We wanted to in addition to sharing two different perspectives, we wanted to also kind of honor the head creator with the way we were doing it. Like, it was our way of expressing ourselves not only to the creator but to our surrounding peers who debate God, religion, spirituality every day of their lives. And you seldomly hear that even right now to this day in music anymore, especially in the mainstream and secular field. And we're we're very spiritual cats. We're very in tune with our spirituality. It's what moves us. It's our spirit moves us more than a lot of other things that are around us and influence us every day. And Lionhead is like, lion is like the king of the jungle, and in respect to the Godhead, the one true God, our head creator. So we put that together just to bring that beast out of it. We carry that inside of us, that energy. We
Give us
move
something
like
off of
that as human, as beings on the earth.
Give us something off a lion's head that you said that speaks monuments to you, because she gave us the pyramid, and how that fed into the woman, what I'm saying, the woman's womb and everything like that. Mm-hmm. What spoke to you that you wrote on that album?
When I was talking to God through my verse, there's times where I'll break from one character, one instance of me just speaking out, making statements where I'm actually directing my message up elsewhere, away from the audience and up to my creator. Like, I just kind of break out of my verse and just start talking to God.
What did you say?
Many times
give the people what they want.
And you probably gonna have to edit this because without being in the flow of it, because when I'm in the spirit of it, it's there. But in one instant I said, and one thing that comes to mind is please heal the minds of the human creation. Keep giving us patience like you patience with us. It seems like everybody's in a rush to go somewhere, but your blessing might be right in front of you right here. And I was the human creations and the human relations, because we're so diverse and we're so different. We're all, we're all the same in one aspect, but we're all still different.
Indeed.
Inside, we're such complex people.
But still all physical manifestations.
Yeah.
So I want
God, yeah.
And we get away with that. We get away from that in our social interactions and our political views. It divides us and separates us and puts us into little boxes and stuff like that. And I don't want to stay in one little group. I like to mix around. I like to get to know people from other different backgrounds that I don't know of. That's in my nature. I'm an intellectual. I like to study what people do naturally, and if it's outside of my norm, that makes me want to know it more. It feeds my curiosity more, especially if it's something that can correlate with my own. And I always find a way or something in it that relates to mine. You might call it one thing and I call it another, but I see it. I'll find there's going to be a similarity in there somewhere. There's going to be a same role playing.
So let me go into a question here. So we got a question that says, why now? I don't really want to say why now, I want to say with the turn of music, because music as I know it. Hold on. Let's go into the question.
Yes, man.
Well, I mean, you didn't let me finish. So I'm gonna say with the turn of music from what I don't really call this music hip hop, because it doesn't go into the hip hop genre for me. Because hip hop to me was LL and Nas and Mos Def and all them. With that not being a realm anymore, with there not being any lyricists that are really broad, why now?
So I think if I may, brother, I think that it goes back to the whole concept of us, right, is balance. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the masculine, it's the feminine, there's the yin, and then there's the yang. And I think that what's missing now is the yin to the yang. And I think that as it comes and as it pertains to like hip hop, in my, from what made me fall in love with hip hop is that it was a reflection of everything that was going on in society and culture, right? And so it spoke. It was a vehicle for expression for the disenfranchised, people who didn't have a voice to express themselves. And so it was that outlet. It was that opportunity to speak to the people in a particular way. And I think that back in the day, it was a little bit more balanced, and now it's not as balanced. Like everything is pretty much the same, which is cool, and I respect a lot of what the young cats are doing, because at the end of the day, we still black, we still nigga, we still trying to feed our families the same way, in my perspective. So I feel like it's our responsibility, instead of sitting around and being like, damn, where the fuck, like, why is there no balance? Well, why the fuck aren't you making some shit to offer the fucking balance? And so that, for me, that's the why now.
My thing is, I see it like a teeter-totter that's no longer in movement. When you're a kid, you're playing on a teeter-totter, and you need one and the other to make the teeter-totter move. Well, it's like one of the kids that left the other on the teeter-totter.
It's balanced, though.
And it's no balance. It's just hanging on one side. And like she said, it's cool for them to be doing what they doing, but it's just only like one aspect in it, and it's only portrayed like that over and over again. Like we don't need like everybody to do the same thing. And
that's the key. I'm sorry, brother, to cut you off, but that's the piece of it, is that the black experience is multifaceted. Yeah, we have people in the trap. Yeah, we have people on Molly and Percocets and fentanyl, you know what I'm saying? But we also have people who have 9-to-5s, who have families who's really just doing the regular type of shit, maybe smoke a little weed here and there, maybe have a little drink here and there, but at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? So yeah.
So let me flip-flop this real quick. So ADXN, we're going to ask you, well, because there's no we, I am going to ask you, what's your influence like? We'll start with what's your influence, and we'll get to who influenced you after that, because it's kind of like a two-part question. But because there's always an influence. Like Malcolm X inspires me to talk shit to people. But what's your drive? Like, what pushes you to get to this point right now? Not who, but what?
The elements. I fell in love with the elements a long time ago. I can't put them down. They surround me in the natural, and they surround me and they are in me in the spiritual. I can't put them down. Just like there's fire, water, the oxygen we breathe, and the ground we walk on. I can't. I need turntables. I need crazy mad selections in vinyl. You know what I'm saying? I love when my brothers and sisters react to what's being played, the break beats that are created off the vinyl. I love it when somebody has something bubbling up in them that they can't help themselves but to grab a microphone and start talking to the people about what's going on in their spirit. There's throughout the different genres of music, you know what I'm saying? Not taking nothing from that, because hip hop is all of that, you know what I'm saying? That was the one unique thing that was a collaboration of all that, from blues, jazz. You can get a little bit of everything when it comes to hip hop. Hip hop is the gumbo I like.
So who's your chef in your gumbo? Like who is your influence? And we're not gonna say like everybody, but if you had to pick one out of the thousands of artists and MCs that's out there now that really rocked the mic, that really spoke to you, who can you, off the top of your head, who was your chef?
I would say, man, Outkast. Definitely Outkast, man. Both of them brothers, Andre and Big Boy, man. The both of them brothers, they had
every album was different.
Everything was different from them, but that's one of the things I liked about them, is that they always advanced. They never stayed in the same demographic that from the beginning. They always just kept growing and growing and growing. You know, another part of them was they, you know, I could relate to their southern style. It was like something that my family was always, you know, and you know, we rode Cadillacs, man. We, you know what I'm saying, we were into stuff like that. Even though we right here in the Midwest with the funk, that was another thing that was something about them, is a lot of their music had a funky, you know, influence in it, you know what I mean? And I listened to crazy mad funk. Like, they were like the new modern Parliament for me, looking at them cats, you know what I'm saying? Right. Another one would be The Teacher, KRS, man. I love Chris, man.
KRS was
from his BDP days, like his approach, his voice, his, you know, his delivery, and the convicting messages that would come from him was like, you know, it kept you on your toes. You know what I'm saying? Right. You couldn't slip around Chris. Chris will keep you up.
He still does.
And he still does. Yeah. You know. And then I would say Nas, man. Nas, for real. Like Nas brought out the poet in me, man. Nas made me, you know, Nas made me dream beyond my own senses, man. Nas gave me imagination. You know, that's real for me. You know, if I was just to pick three, I could keep going.
So same question. What is your influence? You know, what makes you want to push forward instead of stopping?
I can't escape it. I mean, I think when you said what you said in terms of like you can't get it out of you, like I connect with that. Hip hop saved my life. You know, like it has and was and always has been for me an opportunity for me to express myself. And so, if nothing else, I have to get that off. You know, so a love for the culture of it, a love for the history of it, but also most importantly for me personally, just to keep it personal, is that it saved my life. Like it's an opportunity for me to express myself in a way that there's no other outlet for that. And then it's something that's just in my bones. Like I can't escape it. So
since Merce was stirring up the pot and he got his little chef, so I'm gonna have to throw that back at you. Like, so who's your chef? Who's your chef?
My chef. Wow. What you name, bro? You had three?
Yeah, I just named 3. I wanted to keep going.
In fact,
Out of respect to a lot, I got respect for a lot of artists out there, for real.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
no, for sure.
You know how you don't want to miss nobody.
Right.
For,
For
real,
sure,
You know what I mean?
for sure.
And then you name, you know what I'm saying? You be like, hey.
I mean, I got my I got my top 3 too. So I mean,
I think for me, I'm like, oddly though, there are 3 artists that have influenced me in a way that no other artists have. And so I'm going to go with Stevie Wonder, Lauryn Hill, and Tupac.
That's dope.
that is dope.
That's duality at your best right there.
Yeah, them is no, they pretty much
like,
they pretty much the captains. Like,
But you know, it's all sort of connected because at the end of the day, they all spoke about the social issues that were going on today. It's all about being relevant in terms of capturing and expressing through music the cultural landscape, and the 3 of them did it well, and made me want to do it.
And that was definitely our mutual goal. We didn't want to do fast food music. We didn't want to make fast food. We wanted to, you know, man. We wanted our music to convey a message. We wanted it to touch you, and you know what I'm saying. We wanted it to, you know, make you cry, make you laugh, make you, you know what I'm saying, get up and move, dance, whatever. But you know what I'm saying, we didn't want it to just be something that we just like spit out there. You know what I mean? Like just.
I don't know how to do music any other way.
Yeah. Like if you ain't feeling it, what you doing it for?
so how did the connection between y'all 2 as artists come about?
That's a long story.
Okay, well you ain't got a long.
The short version.
The short version.
The short version, indeed.
A friend of mine from the neighborhood had his cousin, which is DJ Marley McFly, producer and artist during the times of the '90s and all of that. Was doing this thing, and he told me about him. And he wasn't too far away from my neighborhood. Took me over there, you know, heard me rhyme. Told me to shoot through the next day. We gonna link up, you know, you and some other artists. And so I go over there, and when I get over there, he on the phone talking to somebody, and then you know, and then after, you know, then he put it on speaker, and it was Des. And right there on the spot while she was on the speakerphone, and I'm over there, you know, also meeting his partner, Golden Eye. You know, man, they 2 partners, they you know, inseparable. They doing their thing, making music. They wanted to put together a team, a camp, if you will. And we all hearing this at the same time while she on the speakerphone, haven't mutually haven't, you know, face to face met yet. After you know, that was all settled and done. We doing this. We going to the studio. We getting ready to make music. Me and her were introduced over the phone, and she told me where she stayed, and I'm going back that way. So I was like, you know, it's not too late. Can you come outside if I stop by? She was like, cool. So I pulled up to the house. You know, she gave me an address or whatever. I pulled up to the house, and she came outside. We met. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't driving right there. When I say pull up, I really mean like we was catching the transit.
We was teenagers.
Yeah, we was teenagers then. You know, she came outside, and I'm at the bus stop just chilling, you know, waiting for the bus, but it was convenient because it was like right across from her crib. And so then we got to meet up, you know, and it went from there. And you want to take this part then, you know, we start going to the studio.
I think for me, like we started going to the studio together. We started working on this album together with Camp Hooligan.
Camp Hooligan was the name.
It was the Camp Hooligan album, and I just respected him as an MC. Like, I just was like, yo, this guy is dope. Like,
And it was visual.
and I was just like, yo, this guy is dope. Like, and so he inspired me to do better, like, as an MC. So I come in the booth, like, I'm like, all right,
That's
cool.
crazy.
Like, I gotta be.
She made me step my stuff all the way up.
And so that's kind of how it. That's kind of how it happened. And so we did the Camp Hooligan album that was recorded, that was released, and I moved to New York, and
I'm still here in the city of Columbus.
we lost touch for a little while, and then reconnected, and then
reconnected.
was back at it.
Back at it. And with that was during that gap, you know, by the well, I would say not during, but after that gap, she had somehow, I forget how it happened. I don't know if I had got your number from someone, or you know, because we switch phones and stuff, like we lose contact with people, but I got her number. And or you know, she got mine. I forget how that happened. But anyway, we hooked up, and that's, you know, she introduced the idea of, like, you know, doing some songs.
Well, it was.
Is that what it was?
Through Jared.
There it is.
So we have a mutual homeboy.
Yeah.
That we actually. That's a whole.
A whole
other story and introduction. But I mean, the bottom line was, I had a conversation with him. I'm like, yo, what's going on with Merce?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, I hit him up.
Yeah.
Hit him up, and
now
started working.
Yeah, and now mind you, back then, you know, when we was doing the Camp Hooligan album, we kind of talked. You know, we had nothing in the workings. Like, we didn't have no songs or nothing, but we used to talk about, like, sidebar to Camp Hooligan, like, doing something together anyway. You know what I'm saying? We had old names for each other as a group, as a duo and stuff like that. It was crazy. You know what I mean? And so this was kind of like a, you know, I don't know, like a, you know what I'm saying, a dream overdue.
Indeed.
A dream overdue.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like something that's been...
Long story long.
Yeah. Long story long. Yeah.
So Merce is kind of long-winded, because once you start telling the story, he used to say, like, what you used to say? He used to be like, because his favorite thing, because every MC has something when they freestyle that they continuously, repetitively say. Like, Mercer's always thing was, like, when he start getting the movie, he be talking about, I'm like a chef stirred in the pot. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he long-winded, but it's good because you get the storyline on it. So what should we look forward to? Like, what do you want the people that are going to view this, what do you want them to look forward to? Because we're not going to see no big butts and, you know, fake hair and blue hair, and I mean, unless you decide to get a butt.
You might.
I mean, if you decide to get butt implants, I mean, that's on you. But I'm just saying, like,
I don't know. We got a song called MDR, Money Drugs and Revolution. So you might drive, you know, fuck trap.
Yeah, I think in terms of what there is to look forward to, I think just music that is relatable to the dynamic human experience, and not necessarily pigeonhole to the club. We gonna talk about the club
in today's community, man.
I mean, you know, we gonna talk about the club, but we gonna also talk about what it's like when you're not in a club, when you home, when you with your woman, and your baby is crying in the other room. You know. And we also gonna talk about when
you and I might not be, you know, clicking today. You know what I'm saying? Or clicking at all right now. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know. So, you know, just like you're gonna get the human experience. The human experience in a more dynamic way, where it's not, again, we're not just talking about one particular experience or one particular facet of. We pulled out you know, issues that we, you know, that we see every day or might even live ourselves, but not really talk about. You got people that go through their whole entire life without getting that stuff up out of them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll mess around and not talk to your whole family, or be around your family, or not reach out to your loved one, or burn a bridge with a friend, over holding some of that stuff in. And we sat back and we thought, as we, cause she real dope at beats, man. She dope at beats. She'll swing some sound and she'll be like, what's that sound like to you? And depending on whichever one of us, hear it, and hear it for what it is, we'll say like, yo, or Des or I'll be getting an idea and something will come out of it. She'll be like, we should talk about when we, you know what I hear when I'm listening to this. And that's kind of like the chemistry that goes along with.
And I think, so the one piece that we neglected to say and to mention that is that I live in New York, he lives in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so everything that we've been doing so far is really just an exchange
over cyberspace.
Through cyberspace, it's like
yeah.
I'm like, boom, here's a beat. We Dropbox is our best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, here's a beat. I think I hear this to the beat. Whatever, go with it. Sometimes he'll kick it off. Sometimes I kick it off. And it's just an exchange.
Organic and experimental. Very organic and experimental. Like, this is a huge grow room with some big butts.
You said some big butts?
Yeah, he did.
Some big buds, man.
That's what I heard the same shit you heard.
I was thinking about butts like...
I heard the same shit you
It's
heard,
a big
bro.
grow room.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's 11:31, the freaks come out at night.
Amen.
I guess how I want to end it is, when's the release? I mean... I'm gonna just say, like, with all the garbage that we gotta endure on a day-to-day basis, like, I heard a little bit about it. I heard a little bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Merc's been talking about it for forever.
It's been a year.
And so
it's been almost a year.
So when's the release? Where can people pick it up at? Where can they get it at? Where can they see it at? Where can they sample it? What are your intentions?
So right now, like, we are in, like, the album is done. So we are finalizing the mixing and mastering, and I think that
we started on some visuals.
We got the visuals going. So at this point, I would say, if not the end of, we don't have an official release date, so if not the end of 2017, then like the very top of 2018.
So let the people know where they should be looking. Like, what is the, first of all,
social media.
We know you guys as Destiny and ADXN, but what is the title of the album going to be called, and what
just
is
what you said? That's both of our brands. We're in addition to us being a group together, we also have our individual brands.
But are you guys going to call yourself ADXN and Dez, or are you going to call yourself something else? I mean, Outkast 2, Goody Mob 2.
I mean, it did start somewhere. We did say something at one point, but some clearance issues came about with that, and and then it was safer for us to stay in our keep our brands. And it's good for the both of us because it's a mutual project between the both of us. And when we go off to do solo things, we'll always have that to share. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's good, because if you're a fan of Destiny Manifest, you're gonna get privy to the album, the
So is
Destiny
she gonna-
Manifest 88
so you got-
album. You're gonna be privy to that, and the same thing with my brand. If you're a fan of 88 Cent,
he's on my first solo album, and I'm on his first solo album.
I know the significance of your name. I know. I'm sure Desi knows. But let the people know what the significance of your name is, so they're just not thinking about it like, this nigga was on here talking about Xbox and shit.
Yeah.
So you gotta let people, because the significance of it is, it's not like I'm just gonna call myself 2 Chainz, or I'm just gonna call myself Titty Boy or some bullshit like that. There's an actual significance about your name, and people should know, so they know the depth. Because she went into the pyramid, and the pyramid was dope. But your name and how you got it was dope too, so people really need to know that.
80XN. I was born in 1980, and so that's where the 80 comes from. I'm representing the top of my decade. The XN is my government last name, Christian. XN is the abbreviation for Christian. I put the 2 together. 80XN. My real name's my rap shit.
And that's dope. So I'm gonna just wrap it up, because that's all the questions that we got. But y'all can actually see the depth of this. So it's not, you get a real life perspective on a man and a woman besides Jay-Z and Beyonce and Meek and Nicki and all the rest of this other stuff going on out there. But you get a depth of it from a man's point of view and for a woman's point of view, and how spiritual and intellectual it is. So I guess that's about to sum it up. Power to the people.
Amen.
Destiny Manifest. 80XN.
We came
Peace,
up
yo.
in the school of the hard knock. In the slums all night, heard the gun pop. No pops around, mine was in the feds locked down. Did a dime, moms had to hold it down. Survival of the most fit for real. OG never snitched, mom so trail. Kept the clip under a pillow, she never slept. But I rock a nigga to sleep if he ever crept. My pedigree never afforded me to be anything less than savage. I'd rather peace over war, but if it's war, let's have it. Ain't never ran from shit. But I know what it means to never have shit, to having it and losing it all and get it back like it never happened. Never depending on another to make it happen. When your back's against the wall, you get the trapping. Yo, I'm a child of God. Give a fuck about the odds, I'ma push through regards. To the weary and my brothers on the yard. You feel me? Yo, I'm a child of God. Give a fuck about the odds, I'ma push through regards. To the weary and my brothers on the yard. You feel me?
Oxygen O2, 1980, the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck as a baby. No biological parents after conceiving me. A vacancy opens up at the adoption agency. The trial adoption with the young couple, 6 months in. Car accident, head injuries, more hospital doors, I'm getting rushed in. Let's do a do-over, meet the Christians. Got my name at age 1, finding out about my adoption at age 8, I'm not done. To counteract the epileptical seizures, I'm on medication. My father's a weapons chief exec for naval seamen. And mama runs shop as a beautician. Oh, did I mention? We church going Bible thumpers and that we all God's children. Attending Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday on fire. Usher boy this week singing in the choir. Middle class life living, none of us poverty stricken. Blessed in the house, blessed in the field. Mama said God got his hook under my gills. You can't be like everybody else, cause you ain't like everybody else. Like an average ordinary run of the mill. So much more than what you see up on the surface. Make moves with the purpose and do it on purpose. Baptized in the gospel with the funk in my stomach, and you can smell it when I take a gangster shit. Yo, I'm a child of God.